Memories of the time we left behind. All those misty watercolored memories of the way we were. Memories of the times we left behind. The times we'll always remember and will always survive. For it's the good times we will remember in any kind of weather, the way we were, those memories. What's up, family? How you doing? Oh, yeah. Today, it would be Dr. Llaila Afrika's 79th birthday. Yes, today would be Dr. Llaila Afrika's 79th birthday, and we are showing our great elder. We're showing our great elder some honor. We're going to show our great elder some honor. Today is Dr. Llaila Afrika's birthday, and we're showing our great elder some honor. If Dr. Afrika helped you in any way, please share this video, share this live. And look what I have on the bottom. I have his website, I have his Cash App to his publishing company, and his wife, his widow. Make sure y'all spread love, and that's his IG page right there on the bottom. Show love to Dr. Llaila Afrika today. I know Dr. Afrika was one of those people that said what he mean and meant what he said. And he sometimes sounded condescending, sometimes sounded real jokingly, and whatever message he brought to you in a funny and rough way, make sure y'all show Dr. Llaila Afrika some love today. His legacy, remembering Dr. Llaila Afrika. You know, this was the last book that he actually put out. He remixed the African Holistic Health book, and he called it the textbook of African Holistic Health. So you can get it for a discount price on his website. So make sure you go to his website. It's a thicker book than the other book. So if you do got African Holistic Health, then please go ahead and get it again. This one has more pages, more information. I think he has an extra 200 to 300 more pages in this book, more information. And Dr. Afrika was one of those extraordinary human beings that helped me out in the past. Helped me out with my health. He helped me out on a lot of things. And he was also an iridologist. Let me read to you what it says behind here. It says about Dr. Afrika. Let me read to you what it says behind here about Dr. Afrika. Look at that. It says about the author. Llaila Afrika has a doctorate in naturopathy diploma and is a certified addictionologist, certified acupuncturist, medical astrologist, massage therapist, and drugless practitioner, and a licensed traditional healer in Ghana, Togo, and Benin. He is on the board of African Traditional Thinkers, Priests, Healer, and Religion. Llaila is essentially self-taught and obtained diplomas and certification because his clients like to see the cosmetics of professionalism. As you can see, Dr. Dick Gregory wrote something about Dr. Afrika in his book. He wrote the intro in his book, and big up to the late, great Dick Gregory. So Dr. Afrika basically got all of his certifications because clients needed to see the cosmetics. And that is the truth. I've been in his house. I stayed in his house for a whole month one time, and very accommodating, him and his wife. And he has like 11 books online. And I mean, this brother have segments on violence and children. He got the history of beating and spanking and hitting children in the book. On page 463, remember this book right here has an extra 300 pages added to it because the book has 711 pages. And back in the day, the other book had 300, probably 400 pages. So definitely you got another extra 300 pages in this new book called The Textbook of African Holistic Health. I was there when they designed the cover. I was at the house when they designed the cover. And believe me, he got the history of Rome and Greece and all of that in this book. So Dr. Afrika was a historian also through health and recognizing health. Because a lot of the health things and the study of bodies, as Dr. Afrika would tell you, was through the military. And a lot of y'all don't know that Dr. Llaila Afrika was a military nurse. He was like a spook who sat by the door. Anybody who watched that movie, he was like a spook who sat by the door, Dr. Llaila Afrika. And he would, after he finished working for that military, he would learn holistic methodologies and scientific holistic methods and would come back out to our community and teach what they're doing in the medical field as a nurse. He didn't want to go and get a doctorate in the doctor as far as a medical doctor, but he became a medical nurse through the military. And I used to tell Dr. Afrika, I said, yo, Doc, you need to write your book, sir. You really need to write your book. And I was talking about autobiography. He said, nah, King, nah, I can't. I'm not going to do that, King. I'm focused on the health, King. I'm focused on the health. That's all I'm focused on, the health. But he was a musician. He was a self-taught musician as far as the piano was concerned, and he self-taught himself how to play the violin. And because he stopped playing the violin because his friends started teasing him and calling him a faggot. And that's when he stopped. I'm just being real. That was back in his generation when he was young, in his teens and all that. He stopped playing the violin because his friends called him a faggot and said only faggots play violin. No offense to anybody that might be going down that road, but remember the word faggot only means piles of sticks. So, and they used to have people pick up those sticks and then they made that word into their derogatory meaning. All right. But Dr. Llaila Afrika was a very important figure in our thing, in our health and our wellness dynamic. Good friends with Queen Afua. Anytime I was with him, Queen Afua would call me and ask me, hey, can you get me in contact with Dr. Afrika? Because Dr. Afrika, sometimes he don't even drive around with his phones. He'll keep his phone somewhere else in silence. And then Queen Afua would have to ask me, where's Dr. Afrika? Because it only seems that I can connect the Dr. Afrika with you. It is what it is. Me and Doc was very close, good brother. Him and his wife and I used to stay at me. Well, he used to go to bed and rest because Dr. Afrika really believed in getting his rest. But me and Dr. Melanie, we used to stay up and talk until 1 or 2 in the morning at the house and laugh up a storm. Dr. Melanie, happy belated birthday to her. Her birthday was January the 16th. But today is Dr. Llaila Afrika. Family, please go to his website and support the legacy of Dr. Llaila Afrika. This is the book you should get. Remember, because it's cheaper. It's cheaper to get this book on the website. This one is called The Textbook of African Holistic Health. That's the textbook. This has at least 200 to 300 more pages. This is the last edition, the platinum edition. That's what we called it. So make sure y'all support Dr. Llaila Afrika. And, let me tell y'all some stories about me and Dr. Afrika's journey. And I remember studying and reading about Dr. Afrika for years, hearing about him for years, probably since the late 80s into the 90s, I was hearing about Dr. Llaila Afrika. And then finally, I went to New Jersey to a lecture he was speaking at about 20 years ago. And I met him and his wife at that time. His wife was Dr. Melanie. And we was talking. And I said, you know what? I'd like to bring you to New York and do regular lectures over there at the Marcus Garvey Center. I think that was the first time I brought him to New York 20 years ago. And Marcus Garvey Center, and we started doing lectures and packing the house at the Marcus Garvey Center with Dr. Llaila Afrika. Then I moved them to Nicholas, Brooklyn. Then I moved them to the for bigger celebrations like my anniversary. I had Dr. Afrika as the feature speaker with people like Brother Polite at that time. I got the flyers for all of this stuff, man. You know what? Let me look at the flyer. Y'all look at the book while I get the flyers, because I got the flyers to all of this stuff. I got flyers and receipts to all of this. And I'm going to show it to y'all, show y'all some of the flyers, because today is our brother's 79th birthday. Today is Dr. Llaila Afrika's 79th birthday. So, okay, so I got my receipts of flyers. So I'm going to go back into time. I'm going to go back into time with Dr. Llaila Afrika real quick. I'm going back into time, looking at my flyers. I'm like, wow, look at all of this. Going back into time with Dr. Llaila Afrika and King Simon's journey. So as I look at it, I'm here looking for the flyers, but my gosh, I know I have the flyers. I should have a whole bunch of flyers with Dr. Llaila Afrika, but let me see which one I put, what comes up first. Here it is. Let's go. Well, this one pops up, but I know I have it before that. This one is 2011, Dr. Llaila Afrika speaks about Our History Forever seminar, serious topic, holistic health, sex, love, and relationships. So Dr. Afrika used to teach on holistic sex, holistic relationships, and this was at the Marcus Garvey Center. Let me show it to y'all in the flyer. This was at the Marcus Garvey Center. As you can see, the holistic center right there on Church Avenue. In 2011, I did a 2-day workshop with Dr. Llaila Afrika. As you can see, first annual Preserve Our History Forever seminar. Man, I even forgot that I named it that way. And who else was with me? In association with Holistic Therapy and Educational Center, I had Dr. Llaila Afrika inside Brooklyn. And this was funny because, you know, the question and answers can get wild with Dr. Afrika. That's one thing I learned real fast. That question and answer Q&A can get real wild with Dr. Afrika. Some people be asking all kinds of questions. And I remember one time they asked him a question about Dr. Sebi. And Dr. Afrika was never one to dog out Dr. Sebi. He always said, I am a scientist. Dr. Sebi is a herbalist. He respects Dr. Sebi's science. He respects Dr. Sebi's his work, but he always preferenced himself that I'm a scientist in what I do. And Dr. Sebi was a scientist in his own right too. But Dr. Afrika, because he studied also the medical world, and he gives you the jargon, because Dr. Sebi, because of his Spanish accent, he wasn't able to pronounce certain things the way he wanted to pronounce it. But because Dr. Afrika went behind the scenes in the military, became a nurse, and secretly came back out and started teaching. And I knew they knew that he was doing that. They had to know, because Dr. Afrika wasn't no joke. You know, they knew he was doing it. But, you know, it's so important that if you're in the military, any one of y'all out there that are in the military, whether in the medical field, in the military, always study more. Be willing to go beyond all of that and beyond beyond the medical field, the regular allopathic field, and study the holistic thing, because it's all about expanding and not being expendable. Here's another flyer with Dr. Afrika, because I brought him early that year. I realized that. Then I brought him later on that year too, in 2011, November 13th. All diseases can be reversed and cured. November the 13th. That was my calendar. October the 16th, I had Ashra Kwesi and Mira Kwesi. And then I had Phil Valentine. And then there was Dr. York is innocent. I mean, one of the guys that was with Dr. York, he helped me promote the lecture that time. And then I promoted it, and he spent money to help me promote it, and that was it. That's how this flyer went. And in the back, the late, great Professor Ronald Duncan. I had a lecture with Professor Ronald Duncan at the Marcus Garvey Center. Those who know who Professor Ronald Duncan, old Sensei Marcus Ronald Duncan, the father of American ninjutsu. But yeah, you know, and one thing about Dr. Afrika, he was so hilarious in the things that he did. And again, some people will say, oh, Dr. Afrika is condescending and all. And it's not that he's condescending. It's just that Doc was just one of those raw talents, those raw say what he mean what he says talent. That was Dr. Llaila Afrika when it comes to disseminating information. He didn't have time to beat around the bush. And I noticed that. And you know, I got so many flyers with Dr. Afrika, man, because I used to produce like 3 to 4 different flyers with Dr. Afrika all the time. Let me see what I can find out, where else I can go and find Dr. Llaila Afrika. Because I got a whole lot of stuff here, man. I got a lot of stuff. Today is Dr. Llaila Afrika's 79th, or would have been his 79th birthday or born day. Enough respect to him all the time. Paul Mooney, no Dr. Afrika. Paul Mooney used to do, Paul Mooney, I brought in Paul Mooney back in the day. Me and Brother Polite brought in Paul Mooney back in the day at CPAC. That's Paul Mooney. I had Paul Mooney also. Paul Mooney was a friend of Dr. Afrika also, and Dr. Dick Gregory. And Dick Gregory was a friend of Dr. Afrika. So yeah, I brought Paul Mooney back in the day. And I even brought Dick Gregory also. I got Dick Gregory flyer here too. But and again, Dr. Llaila Afrika touched a lot of people. Of course, y'all seen him on Dame Dash's on network one time. Go check out that because he's still on there with Dame Dash. Still looking for more flyers with Dr. Llaila Afrika because I got a whole host of different flyers. I mean, I got an arsenal of stuff here. This is a lot of my receipts. It's a lot of my receipts. All of these are different flyers. It's like a photo album of flyers. A lot of my receipts right there. You see, I got Sarah Suit and Seti, all of that. But again, because today is Dr. Llaila Afrika's birthday, and big up to Kaba Kamene, who shouted Dr. Afrika in his book. Here's another one that I did with Dr. Llaila Afrika. Today being his 79th birthday. This is something I did with Dr. Afrika in 2013. Look at that. 1-to-1 with the Master Health Symposium. And this was held in Harlem, I believe. I did this in Harlem. If I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to find, it's a private location. So yes, I did this in Harlem. 75% per person, 100 the day of. Private location will be provided upon completion of payment. This was in Harlem. I remember I did this in Harlem. Dr. Llaila, and of course, those who know me, I did Kaba Kamene also. You know, I've done that's Booker T. Coleman, aka Kaba Kamene, when he did a tribute to Malcolm X, on February 17th. So, and who also was a friend of Dr. Llaila Afrika and Dr. Sabi. So, you know, I've been doing a lot. I got my receipts for a lot of stuff, my family. Got a receipt for every little thing that I've done, every little performance, every little event that I've done. Okay, here's the event with Dick Gregory. Those who didn't know, me and Polite did this back in the day. Me and Brother Polite did this on May the 19th, on Malcolm X's birthday. Dick Gregory. We did Malcolm X over there at the place in one of the schools that Malcolm X founded called the Akbar Hall. It used to be called 7C. 7C in Brooklyn, right there on Putnam and Madison Avenue. This is one of the places that Malcolm X founded in the Nation of Islam back in the day, and I had Dick Gregory there. All right, so again, Dick Gregory was a friend of Dr. Llaila Afrika, and also a client of Dr. Llaila Afrika and his wife. Because I remember Dr. Llaila Afrika's wife telling me that he came and got acupuncture at their house. So Dick Gregory was also a friend of the late, great Dr. Llaila Afrika, who happens to be his born day. And I'm looking for some more flyers here. I know I got a whole bunch if I keep on skimming through it. But again, I want everybody to really support the website, LlailaAfrica.com. He has like 12 or 11 books up there right now. or support, send some Cash App love. If you don't want to buy a book, send some Cash App love to Dr. Llaila Afrika's wife, widow, at $charleschild, or PayPal at Dr. Melanie 16. I spoke to her a couple of weeks ago before her birthday. She was attending a funeral. Enough respect. And that sister went through a lot. Let me tell you. After Dr. Llaila Afrika passed on, then her mother transitioned, and then other family members. So she's been through a lot. So if you don't hear from her, the only time you could really talk to Dr. Melanie is going through her website or contacting her and getting a consultation, because she's still keeping Dr. Llaila Afrika's legacy alive. She's still keeping Dr. Llaila Afrika legacy alive, and that was very important. Also, let me find, here's another flyer when Dr. Afrika did my 18th celebration in promotion and production. This was in 2013. Let me show you another flyer of Dr. Afrika. And we did this at the National Black Theater. Matter of fact, that broadcast is on my channel, on my YouTube channel, King Simon Presents. Dr. Llaila Afrika at the National Black Theater. Dr. McCabe Judge was there. Dr. Stephanie was there. Dr. Stevenson was there. Dread Black performed, and also guest host at that time, Jamila Duncan, massage therapist. And that happened December the 8th, as I was celebrating my 18th anniversary in promotion and production in 2013. Dr. Llaila Afrika. I was always supporting our elders, man. I always learned to support our elders. And I brought in a lot. I got Delbert Blair flyers here. I got all kind of people's flyers here. There's so much. There's so much. And I'm telling you, that got big. Why that got big? Because even Brother Polite was on there. Lloyd Strayhorn was on there. That particular anniversary, the 18th anniversary, got real big after a while. And let me see. I did Ray Hagan's. People that don't know me, I'm here showing Ray Hagan's flyer. I'm going to show Ray Hagan's flyer right now. People that don't know me, I had Ray Hagan's also, man. Brother Polite, Ray Hagan's, and Hakeem Green from Channel Live. Hakeem Green was there with us, man. We tore the place up, man, back in the day. So we had a good time, and that was in 2013 also. Make sure y'all get his new book. The last book that Dr. Afrika produced before he transitioned was the Textbook of African Holistic Health. Do not order it on Amazon. Go directly to the website so you can get the discount. If you want to buy all of the books, they have a discount on the website. He got 11 books out there. He has a discount on the website. Okay. Look at the flyer again. This is a remix of the flyer also. Here's the remix of the flyer in December 8, 2013. This is the remix. I designed this flyer. This is the remix of the flyer in 2013. Dr. Llaila Afrika, Dr. Melanie Stevens, his wife, Brother Polite, Dr. McCabe Judge, Lloyd Strayhorn, Queen of Four came through to show some love that time. Queen of Four show some love. Look at Queen of Four right there. Wellness advisor, life coach, and author, hosted by myself and Jamila, and also performance by Dread Black. Yo, this was a powerhouse event on December 8th, 2013. I'm telling you, family, make sure y'all get the new book. The last book that Dr. Llaila Afrika produced was this book before he transitioned, the one that you're seeing on the screen, the African Holistic Health, the textbook. Not just the regular book. Go get the textbook, family, because it has at least 200 to 300 more pages. Today, we're doing Remembering Dr. Afrika. Anybody that remember Dr. Afrika, y'all can request to come in and talk to me if you want to. If you remember Dr. Afrika, if you've worked with him in any way, if you've read any of his books, I'm going to open the floor for y'all to come in and talk to me about Dr. Afrika and what he meant to you. Please, by all means, anybody that want to request to come in, come and share. Even if you didn't meet him or you read his material, you read his books, come on in and share what you read about Dr. Afrika, what you know about Dr. Afrika, how he helped you on your health or holistic journey. Because Dr. Afrika was one that taught classes at his home. Let me say that again. Dr. Afrika taught classes at his home. Very important to know that Dr. Afrika taught classes at his home. And I'm telling you, family, there's so many people that are students of Dr. Afrika. It's a shame right now. There's so many students of Dr. Llaila Afrika. It's a shame out there. And right now I'm trying to hit up a few of them. Let me hit up a few of them and see if they can make it on. I know it's Monday morning. I know it is what it is, but I'm trying to hit up a few of them to see if they want to come on and talk about Dr. Afrika in any way, because we want to show love to Dr. Llaila Afrika in any way. I want to show love to Dr. Llaila Afrika, even why Nicholas is doing what they're doing on a consistent basis. Remember, Nicholas is doing a whole holistic expo on the 9th. And believe me, I used to bring Dr. Llaila Afrika, Delbert Blair, everybody over to Nicholas, Brooklyn. You know, after I left places like the National, or when I needed smaller venues, I would bring Dr. Afrika to different places, different venues, so he can express himself freely. And a lot of it is on YouTube and a lot of it is not. A lot of the stuff I didn't put on YouTube. I still got a lot of the videotapes and all that. But Dr. Afrika was that rare jewel in our community. Like I said, let me see who wants to come on and spread love. Let's see what Empress got to say. Let's see what our Empress got to say, if she's coming on. What's up? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Now tell us your adventure about Dr. Afrika, please.
Yeah,
please.
So I didn't get the honor of meeting him in person, but I had his books, and the matter of fact, the one that he put out, that's that one, but it, you know, say now that's like the textbook.
Right.
I had
right.
one, and I remember reading about like blood pressure and stuff like that, and how pretty much the system, as far as how they diagnose high blood pressure and how they medicate, you know what I'm saying, the Black community is just completely whacked out and wrong. You know what I'm saying? They'll put you on blood pressure medications with just 2 readings of, you know what I'm saying, high readings, and they don't even have to be on the same day. They can be like 2 separate days. And then they're going to give you some of that medication, and that medication, depending on what they're prescribing, can take your hair out. It can do a whole bunch of stuff. But this is what, you know what I'm saying, they did to the African American community. And myself as, you know, a budding herbalist, learning these different things and stuff like that, this is one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I made very clear to my, you know, saying clients of that nature. Like, listen, Llaila Afrika has, you know, amazing work when it comes to blood pressure, because that's one of the things this community suffers with a lot. High blood pressure, diabetes, and congestive heart failure.
Yes. I'm proud of your journey, sister. Empress Natural, Empress_Naturals.
Yes.
I want you to follow Empress_Naturals, since she's a budding herbalist. And Dr. Afrika always said, he told me, I asked him about his legacy when he said he just wants people to go out there and teach what he taught and keep on learning. That's what he told me personally. Absolutely. And I was at his house. So I miss him so much. He's a good brother.
I know you do.
And I miss him, brother. And I'm glad that you are keeping up the journey.
Absolutely.
Because that's what he wants.
And that's what, and when I got my hands on that book and I started reading that, I was like, oh, we got to continue this. Like, Llaila, it didn't stop there. Like, our ancestor has transitioned, but now he's on the other side, giving us this power to continue to move forward. You know what I'm saying? Because energy never dies. It just transmutes and it transforms energy, or transforms, you know what I'm saying? So I'm very honored to be able to be up here this morning on the day of his birth, and to just give him, you know what I'm saying, his props, because even though I didn't get to meet him, he's still very impactful.
Oh, yes.
So I can definitely understand that. And I sell sea moss and stuff too, or I work with sea moss and a couple other herbs. So I'm just, you know, finding my way, but I'm thankful for the ancestors, for the elders who paved this path for us, you know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody else giving us this.
Yes, that's right. But, and you know, sister, thank you very much for coming on and sharing. Even if you don't know him, I tell people, even if you don't know him, he really wrote 11 books, and he has some people, I think his daughter, his wife, want to put out the rest of his books. But, you know, Dr. Afrika, a lot of people don't know, he wrote from pencil to paper, or pen to paper, all of his books.
Yeah.
I was there watching him do a lot of that stuff. So he took the time out. He was old school. He wrote from pen, and then he had everybody. And then just for this African Holistic Health book, let me tell you how many editors he had. He had 7 editors. He needed 7 editors. editors that understood the jargon.
Yeah.
Medical jargon, the holistic jargon. He needed those editors, 7 editors.
And that's how you know. That's how
Yeah.
you know that he was serious about what he was doing, and he wanted to make sure that information got out in the best way possible. So, you know what I'm saying? Thank you. And, you know, I know you had the experience with him, and I know he is greatly missed, but just know that his legacy is still impacting people to this day.
Yes. Thank you, my sister, for coming on. Make sure y'all follow our sister, Empress Naturals, man. Thank you, beautiful.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes. Man, y'all got to find people that are doing the work. Let me see who else wants to come on. Let me say something before I bring other people on, man, because, you know, I get all teared up now about when I mention people like Sabi and Dr. Afrika, who I work with, Dr. Blair and all this. Let me show y'all another flyer. I'm coming to y'all people that are clicking on the thing. This is one that I did with Dr. Afrika, the Melanin Conference. I did with Dr. Afrika because he wrote a book on melanin. I had Dr. Stevens, Alim Bey. I had Dr. Ann Brown couldn't make it. I had Patricia Newton couldn't make it, but Kaba Kamene came. And it was and brother invited guest Joshua Sarah. This was in 2014. I did the Melanin Conference. The Melanin Conference for my 19th celebration and promotion and production. Let me see who else want to come up here. Let's say Tahuti Ra'el. Let me go to Tahuti Ra'el. Let's see what's up with him. Tahuti Ra'el. Let's see if he's going to come up. Let me see if brother Tahuti Ra'el comes up.
Hey, peace, Baba. How are you?
Hey, what's up, Tahuti? How you doing, brother?
I'm amazing, brother. I just seen you down in Atlanta. We was at the conference together, and we were sitting at the table together at Panic's event in Atlanta too.
Okay, all right. How you been? You all right?
Amazing, brother. Yeah, man. Rising power to the elder too. Dr. Patricia Newton was one of my teachers, man. I'm from out of DC. Yeah, my mother sat right at her feet, man. She would we used to come sit at her conferences and everything, man. It's beautiful to hear her name spoken.
I met Patricia Newton a few times, man, and I have one of her books or one of her articles and DVDs also that I got from her.
I think
and all that.
I feel like they died the same week, didn't they?
No, I don't know if they were the same week. I know the same year, but I don't know if it was the same week. I don't remember that. But what was your experience with Dr. Afrika?
Oh man, it's amazing, man. So I got the beauty of meeting him. He came to DC one time with Red and Blue brought him to DC, and I got to meet him. And man, he was an open book, just like he is. And he gave me his number, and I would call him and talk to him and chat to him and get advice from him. And he reminded me of Yoda, man. He almost talked backwards to you. And he did not, and he never missed his words. Like if you asked him a question and it was stupid, he'll let you know that's just a stupid question. Like, what's wrong with you, brother?
He'll tell you. That's one thing I love about Doc. He will tell you straight to your face. That was stupid, you know, King. But are you doing any health work, or what are you doing?
So actually, I'm on the shamanic journey. So I don't think if you remember, Panic used to call me his shaman.
Oh,
so
okay, yeah, that's my brother Panic. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So yes, I study the holistic health, and I implement a lot of it in my practices and stuff. And man, I was 400 pounds at one time, man, and I done got down to like 250, 240, man. And I've passed on a lot of the fasting information on to the brothers and stuff in my community. And his book is a Bible. I keep it with me. I keep it in my ceremonies. I keep it on my shrine. Like it goes with me everywhere I go. I call it my Bible, literally. And I've referenced to most people when they first want to go down the holistic journey. I tell them to read Nutricide first anyway, because I feel like it breaks the spell for people and it breaks down just everything. It gives everybody just that blueprint to start off with and just be like, wait, what in the world is this? Is real? And then once you research it and realize that he knew he was a doctor on their side as well as he was a doctor on our side. So it's like you just can't dispute any of this information.
Yep, that's right, brother. And I'm thank you for your journey and what you're doing, man, because Doc really wanted the young people to take it on and take it on and enhance on it, add on to it, man. Do your studies, whatever you you know, he wasn't a proponent of shrooms and all of that stuff, but he understood because he always said DMT showed up naturally in our DNA already. It comes to you naturally. All you do is sit in the dark and do something for a long period of time and it will come. That's what he was telling. So he said, but the plant world has a method of bringing it to you real quick. So I understand. But he never promoted it like that because some people are doing it. Now people are abusing it, and that's not good.
Hey, well, you know, like, what you know is crazy. I serve in boga too, which is the African art. It's an African plant.
Yes.
And he if you look in Nutricide, he speaks about a boga in the book, and it's like
for addiction, right? To remove addiction. Right?
I say, and I studied that book back and forth, but it never referenced to me until I went down the shaman journey. Yes. And then when I went back and reread the book, I was like, wait, hold up, he's talking about a boga in here. It's like, man, the master had everything in here, man. He just gave everything in here.
Ibogaine was real, a boga from Gabon. People don't know it's from Gabon. Yeah, I had the book on it, and Dr. Afrika was one of the people that introduced it to me about 15 years ago and stuff.
See,
so yeah,
like he's ahead of his time, man.
Yeah, he was ahead of his time because a lot of people don't know my brother. He had gotten he got shot and killed at a young age.
Oh no,
a lot of people didn't. But the doctor or the coroner in the hospital said, his spirit said, let me check the body bag again, and checked his pulse. The man is alive. The little boy, he was a little boy. He got shot in school.
Wow.
And then he had to relearn everything. So he forgot everything and had to.
Afrika got shot?
Yes, I'm telling you. Yes, Dr. Llaila Afrika got shot when he was a child.
Wow. Yeah, I never knew that.
And had to relearn everything. And that's what he thought everything that he was learning, because he went and read everything by Freud. He went and studied piano. He read and studied all kinds. He said, I thought that's what kids are supposed to learn. So he was learning everything. And that's what made him learn and study everything from young. Remember, he wrote that book around when he was 21, in his 20s. People don't realize Dr. Afrika was young when he wrote African Holistic Health, the first small book.
No, I didn't know that.
People don't know that shit. So, I was that close to the brother, and I used to talk. I brought it out of him at a lecture years ago at in Harlem, because he didn't want to talk about it, the whole thing. And then I had his wife talk about it on one of the interviews on my platform when he passed on. She did speak about it, and I let her break it down a little bit more because he used to tell about it. But my brother, thank you very much for coming and all the work that you do. Make sure y'all follow my brother at Tahuti_Rot_L. Okay.
I appreciate you. Are you gonna be in Atlanta, King?
I'm the MC, baby. I'm the MC. I'm the one.
I say, well, I'll be vending down there. Well, I'll see you soon, then, brother. Peace.
They're gonna give me all the vendors' name, and I'm gonna shout out everybody over the microphone.
Right,
so I'm gonna.
I'll see you soon.
All right. One love, baby. All right, my brother. All right, there, Tahuti, man. Big up to he gonna be there at the God Fest. We gonna be at the God Fest, and I'm gonna send a salute to Dr. Llaila Afrika off that stage. Big up to Nicholas in the building. Nicholas, if you want to come on and say a few words about Dr. Afrika, please come on. If you want to come on and say a few words, please, you can do that if you want. Nicholas, we love you. I love to hear from you. I just sent you a request. If you want to come on and say a few words about that, because I was showing a few of the flyers with Dr. Afrika at your spot and all that kind of stuff. Of course, y'all know I had the Melanin Conference. I told y'all I had the Melanin Conference with Dr. Llaila Afrika. It was powerful back in the day. I had the Melanin Conference with Dr. Llaila Afrika back in the day. There he is with my man, Dr. Llaila Afrika, Melanie Stevens, Dr. Kaba, Professor Kaba, Ann Brown, Dr. Aline Bay, all at the National Black Theater. I believe Monique was there that time when I did the Melanin Conference, the Carbon Melanin Conference. And that was a powerful conference. Y'all know I was celebrating my 19 years in promotion and production. I'm going on 30 years this year. This is my 30th year this year in promotion and production. So Nicholas, if you want to come in and say, oh, there she is. Let me see if my girl Monique want to come in and say what up, though. What up, though. I shouted out your event too, Nicholas. Hey.
Peace. I'm looking a little crazy, so please never mind.
Oh, yeah, you still looking beautiful.
Early. Thank you. I get up so early to drop off Nicole at school, so.
Hey, I told people that you're one of, why you doing even your health expos and all that is because I used to bring these health people, Dr. Afrika and all these people, and now she got an expo coming up that weekend of February 8th and February 9th in Brooklyn. Tell us your experience with Dr. Afrika real quick while you're driving.
Well, I just want to say thank you for always bringing him. I was like, it was such an honor because I know that he didn't really come out
Yes.
to the venues. Like you said, he came out to like 1 or 2 venues a year,
Yep,
and
yep.
the fact that he loved coming to Nicholas, Brooklyn. Oh my God! Like I can't even
He,
tell you how much of an honor it was. Like I look back at the pictures, I miss him dearly. Him and his beautiful wife. Like
yes, yes.
I wouldn't be doing all the stuff that I'm doing if it wasn't for him and if it wasn't for you. Like that is the truth.
You know, the
Like, and
last lecture,
I miss his humor too. Like that
yeah, you
guy,
know.
no filter whatsoever. Like he'll say little things like, "Oh, I'm not sitting in no white chair. Give me a black chair." You know, like just little things like that. I'm like, "Oh my God, I can't believe him. He is a riot."
And
So
let him know, let him know you still sell his books out there. You still sell his
of
books out
course,
of your
all
store.
the
You still
time,
sell.
all of
Yes,
the
yes,
time.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
I'll never forget, he came in one day and bringing in boxes. He had his tank top on. I'm like,
Yep.
oh my God, look how cut up this man is.
Cut up, yeah. And you know, Doc did his last lecture at your spot before he transitioned
I
in Brooklyn.
know, I
The
know,
last
I
lecture was
know.
done at your spot.
And
Yep.
it's such an honor, like I said. So thank you for
Yeah,
always
man.
bringing the greats to Nicholas, Brooklyn. I
Yeah,
would
man.
not be doing what I'm doing alongside right now with Kafunia. She's helping me as well.
Yes,
So if it wasn't for y'all, even Hank Rising son,
yes.
I love dealing with the OGs. Like you can see, I keep older people around me. There's a reason for that. I love
Yes,
y'all
yes.
energy and what y'all all do for the community. Like we just had Queen Afua there. Like
Yes,
I
yes.
can't wait to see what the rest of the year brings, and hopefully we collab on something
Oh yeah,
this year. I don't know what.
I'm coming back in March
Uh,
and April, so I'll let you know what we're bringing. I'm bringing something over there in March and April. You know
okay,
what I'm saying?
wonderful.
Make sure everybody hit up Nicholas Brooklyn at Eventbrite. They got some events coming up. Hit up at IG. They got of course the expo coming up and Brother Heru coming up that
Yes,
same
and we're
weekend.
still looking for any practitioners that want to be involved in our event. Like I'm looking for like another yoga person.
Yeah.
That would be great. Anything, like acupuncture, anything along those lines. We are open to everything. Mental health therapists.
Yeah.
We have a full lineup. Like people are going to be really surprised and
Right.
overwhelmed when they walk into our expo because we have to do these things for ourselves. Like a lot of the expos, they charge. Our event is absolutely free.
Free.
And the first 100
$3.99.
people that come in are getting health and wellness gift bags. And if you know me, I am not a cheap person by all means. So there is going to be some nice goodies that you can use. No little keychains or something like that. You know how you go to places, they give you little keychains, the little pens and stuff. Nah, we
Yes.
giving you herbs, we giving you tea strainers, like not playing. We thank you for all the continued support that you have given us over the years, 50 glorious years. Big shout out to my father, Randolph Nicholas, who started the business.
Yes.
He had his spin on it. Now I'm doing my spin. It's all about
That's
health
right.
and wellness.
That's right.
We have to get
That's
our
right.
mind, body, and souls intact, especially during these times right now. I can't believe you got me like this right now, Simon. and I'm sitting here driving.
Well, do your thing. Keep on driving. Drive safely, and I'll make sure I send people. Thank you very much for all you're doing, Monique. All right, we'll talk.
And thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Nothing but the
Appreciate
best
you.
for you. All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye-bye.
You too. All right. That's Nicholas Brooklyn. Make sure y'all support Nicholas Brooklyn, what she's doing. Remember, please go to Nicholas Brooklyn in Brooklyn over there at 1396 Fulton Street. And they're going to be having the expo at Restoration Plaza right there inside of the plaza. And check out my boy Moshood too. That's my family over there, the designer. And remember, today is Dr. Llaila Afrika's 79th born day. He would have been 79 years today. That's why we're showing him love and shouting him out. This is the book that you should get online. This is the last textbook that he wrote. He remixed his African Holistic Health. And if you think you got African Holistic Health now, if you go get this thick ass book, this is a thick ass book. Go get this thick ass book right now. It has at least 200 to 300 more pages added to it. Anybody who want to come on, who have ever experienced Dr. Afrika, just hit that camera button and come on. We had Empress on, we had our brother Tahuti, we had Monique on. Kafunya, I don't know if what Kafunya is doing, but Kafunya was one of the students of Dr. Llaila Afrika back in the day. And I definitely want to shout out anybody that has a business that's still continuing with their health, because I'm going to put this up on my YouTube channel too. So I'm going to reprint this and redo this. And remember, they always carry, Nicholas Brooklyn always carry Dr. Llaila Afrika's books. So make sure y'all go and support Nicholas Brooklyn over there at 1396 Fulton Street, between Brooklyn and also Brooklyn and New York Avenue. Let me see who else want to come up here and talk to me. And if they had any experience with Dr. Llaila Afrika. All right, let's see who's coming up to join me. All right, peace and prosperity. I think his name is Brother Ogun. Yes, sir, Brother Ogun. How you doing, sir? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Uh-oh.
Okay, I can hear you now. Peace and love.
What's up, brother? What's up, brother? What was your experience with Dr. Afrika, my brother?
Man, so my name is Ade Ogun L. Man, Dr. Llaila Afrika has been such a guy, such an angel in my life. Like his mind, he's still like, I still hear his voice in my head. Like the way he used to talk, the way like, man, you know, even anytime I go past a fast food restaurant, I hear his voice. Crack damn, Crack Donald's, you know, Murder King, man. Like he goes off like, man, like the way he talks, the way, like he told me something when him and his wife was down in DC. Well, the DMV up at E-Life.
Yeah.
He said, listen, you can take a handful of herbs and give your body every piece of nutrient it needs for the whole day. And then if you treat your body like that, it will have the energy to dispose of any waste that comes its way. So it's it was like, man, even if you're not going to be disciplined enough to eat the way you know you need to eat, take the herbs that's going to cleanse your body and keep your body system able to handle these things that you're doing to it.
Yes.
So, man, the way I look at him, like he wasn't some person that say, if you can't do it this way, there's no help for you. He always had the next best step for you.
Yeah.
There was never a time where he said, oh, you don't think you could be vegan right now, you're a lost cause.
That's right. Right, big up, your Tahuti shout you out. You said little brother, Tahuti shout you out. Okay, big up to you, man. Hey, one thing about that was about the transition. He didn't want to force you to get to something. He wanted you to transition. You always transition. You know what I'm saying? Because you could, and that's the difference between him and Dr. Sabi. Dr. Sabi will say, cut that off right away. But Dr. Afrika understood the transitional method of how people need to transition into something one step at a time. That's one thing, but he was still hardcore.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But what business do you got, brother? You want to shout that out? Go ahead, shout your business out, brother.
Absolutely. You got it. My name is Ade Ogun L, the Holistic Ninja. I am a spiritual lifestyle coach. And I pretty much help people, man, get their life into a holistic manner, spirit, mind, body, environment. I work with the ADS Collective, Dr. Kokai E. Patterson.
Yes.
You know, down in DC, man, we just doing a whole lot of healing work. I work with the brother Tahuti that you had on earlier. He's actually gave me my first book from Dr. Llaila Afrika, Nutricide. You feel me?
Oh, wow.
So, shout out to the brother. Man, you feel me? I hold space with him in ceremony, man. We're doing a lot of healing work and just trying to continue this progress forward and make sure our people have the tools they need to elevate in this ascension period we're in right now.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm proud of your journey, family. Make sure you follow our brother Ogun, our King Ade Ogun L, Ogun.fitness. Make sure y'all follow him, man, and show him love. Thank you, my brother, for coming on, okay?
Man, thank you. Peace and love. And I'll see you at the God Fest as well. I'll be over there with Tahuti.
We did, my brother. I'll see y'all, brother. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
All right. These brothers are doing it, man, and that's what Dr. Llaila Afrika wanted. He wanted our young brothers and sisters to do it. Do it till you're satisfied. Know what it is. You got to do it. Do it till you're satisfied. And remember, study all of them. Study Dr. Sabi, Paul Goss, Queen Afua, study all of them. Dr. Akua Gray, Dr. Melanie, study all of these holistic practitioners, because if one doesn't work for your client, then the other will, because sometimes people's information might be palatable for one person and is not palatable for the other person. So Dr. Sebi might be hardcore and say this alkaline, this, but Dr. Afrika says, yes, alkaline, but you got to remember the body alkalines naturally. And this is alkaline and this is acidic. Dr. Afrika will go into those balances there and say, well, gradually do this so you can get off of this. Sebi will say, yo, what you doing, man? We doing this and knock that out and all that. But every method can work if you work it. Dr. Queen Afua might say this way, and that person might say this way, but always study all the ways, even study the allopathic medicine, because you might have to wean somebody off from the allopathic into the herbs, but you got to slowly wean them off. Because you can't just, you gotta be very careful. That's why Dr. Afrika had a disclaimer in his book, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Afrika had disclaimers in his book for a reason, and I'll read the disclaimer to you. The author disclaimed any liability caused by the direct or indirect use or misuse of the information in this book. None of the information is meant to take the place of an accredited licensed medical health practitioner. Dr. Afrika wasn't, although in his book he was a doctorate of naturopathic. He was a nurse, a medical nurse in the military. He was a certified addictionologist. He was a certified acupuncture therapist. He was a certified medical astrologist. He was also a certified licensed massage therapist. He was also a drugless practitioner and a licensed traditional healer for Ghana, Togo, and Benin. And he was on the board of African traditional thinkers, a priest, a healer, and of religion. Llaila Afrika says in his book, he is essentially self-taught and obtained diplomas and certification because his clients like to see the cosmetics and professionalism. So every one of y'all should go and get your cosmetics, go get your licenses, go get your cosmetics, go get your certification. So people can see it on your wall and say that, yo, you put in this work to go get these licenses and this doctorate. Go ahead and put in that work. Don't do it like you're a hood nurse and a hood this and a hood that. Dr. Afrika didn't care about those accredited licenses and stuff, but he understood that people needed to see that. Big up to another person that support. Big up to Rashiki Oz. Anybody who wants to come on and talk about Dr. Llaila Afrika on his 79th birthday, please come on. We're promoting Dr. Llaila Afrika. Remember his website, you can get his books for a cheaper price for a whole group rate. And please spread some love to his wife who's holding down the legacy, teaching courses and classes. Cash App, $ charleschild Publishing. That's charleschild. That is the publishing company. If you don't know what charleschild is, that is Dr. Llaila Afrika's wife and his publishing company right there. See the bottom there? That's the publishing company, charleschild Publishing. So that's the Cash App, charleschild. And the PayPal is drmelanie16@yahoo. If anybody want to come on, I had some great people come on already. Ogun, we had Tahuti come on. We had Monique come on. Anybody want to come on and talk about the legacy of Dr. Llaila Afrika and what you learned from Dr. Afrika? Also, big up to Rashiki. She said he was an extraordinary teacher. If you want to come on, Rashiki, just press. I see Ethiopia in the building. Ethiopia, if you want to come on and talk about Dr. Llaila Afrika, please come on. Just press that request button and I'll bring you on. I can press that request button and I'll bring you on. Just come on. Let's talk about Dr. Llaila Afrika briefly, what you learned and what was his teaching methodology, how it helped you. Okay, my man is walking. He was a walking university. That's what Ethiopia said. That's my man Joshua. He's also a great spoken word artist, Joshua Ethiopia. He is also an author. He's also a student of Dr. Llaila Afrika also. So big up to all the students of Dr. Llaila Afrika, like Sister Rashiki, also from the Arts Temple, Rashiki Arts Temple. She got some extraordinary gifts also. You know what I'm saying? But okay, my man said he gonna come on. That'd be nice to see you on, brother. I'll send y'all a request. I'll send him an invite also. And I'll send Rashiki, if she wants to come on, I'll send her an invite just in case they want to come on and spread some love about Dr. Llaila Afrika and whatever business you're promoting. We will be at a lot of people will be at Monique's spot on February the 8th and the 9th for the expo of the 9th. But February 8th, they're going to have Brother Heru. And a lot of people is going to be in Georgia for the God Fest. The 9 Ether God Fest. That's going to be powerful. I'm telling you, when I say it's going to be powerful, it's going to be powerful, family. Y'all want to be in the building. When the saints come marching in, you want to be in that number. I want to be in that number when the saints come marching in. I'm telling you, man, I want to be in that number, family. I want to be in that number. I want to be in that health number. I want to be in that ancestral number. I want to be in that melanated number. I want to be in that number. So if you have any stories about Dr. Llaila Afrika, you can come make a request. Let me see who's in the building. Who's that? Rashid? Is that Sister Rashid? Who's that?
Yo.
Oh, that's my man Joshua. What up, my brother Joshua Sarah? My
What's
brother,
good,
how you
fam?
doing?
Yeah, I'm full of life.
This Joshua Sarah's book, man. This is my man's book. I got it right here next to me. All right now. Josh, talk about our brother Dr. Llaila Afrika. Today is the 79th born day, cosmic born day. Talk about
you know, like I said in the comments, man, brother was a walking university. That's what I knew from taking classes with him. Sitting in the classes, his breadth of knowledge was kind of insane.
Yes.
How you could ask him a question. This man didn't go look nothing up except in his brain and would drop so much, like not just answer your question, but then give you all the context you need to understand the question, right? The things to go look up to help you actually understand the information. And, you know, one of the things, it's a couple things I really always appreciated about this brother. He's one of my favorite elders in general to be around.
Yes.
And now one of the favorite ancestors, you know what I mean? Largely because of his authenticity and his genuine love for our people, man. Like, I feel like his love for our people was always the priority before anything else in the work he was doing. So, you know, it wasn't about the money, it wasn't about the clout, it wasn't about the following, it wasn't about none of that stuff. It was really just about helping people get healthy again, which, you know, led to what I could see one of his biggest frustrations was, you know, whenever I saw him doing lectures, people would come up and be like, hey, yo, you know, what's the remedy? And he's like, listen, you asking me basically how to wash your face while you're still in the mud. I'm trying to help you get out of the mud first. And you're like, can you just hand me the soap? And I'm like, why give you the soap while you're still in the mud? You're going to do like this and just make more mud. And he kept trying to tell people like, look, these remedies is cool, but if you don't get out of the situation, it'll just keep coming back. So I saw that was one of his biggest frustrations with us as a people, just wanting that quick remedy, fix that microwave answer instead of really wanting to put in the time and effort that he did and all of our elders had to do in order to actually reach that level and have that intelligence and be able to live that healthy life. It's not a microwave fix that we be trying to get. So,
and you know, Joshua, I'm proud of you, what you did. Because I remember I had Joshua open up for Dr. Afrika at this melanin conference back in the day. We had his name is right there. You see Joshua's name right there as one of the invited guests. So we had a good time. Joshua, you know, Joshua is a very powerful brother. Y'all need to follow him at Ethiopian right here. Joshua, tell him about the books that you have also and the things that you are doing on your site. With your health journey and everything else, and the numbers journey and the mathematics, mathematics, of course. Let's talk about that, please.
So you know, I'm part of the legacy, man, of our family, our community, doing the work to help us get back to our highest state, right? And so right now, I'm tuned into the math as one of the missing elements that our people really need to reach our highest state again. Because what I started to really recognize is everything we do is just based on math, whether that's music or architecture or engineering, everything is the math. And when I really thought about it, Black people with this melanin capacity to do all of this vibration work, right? Like we got fast twitch muscles for sports and dance. Yeah. We have this high capacity to conduct music and lights and all the vibrations. And we can transmute all of that. And I started realizing we're rhythm people, vibration people. And I started to realize we have a sense of it, right? Like somebody walks in the room and we're like, hey, I feel like the vibe is off. Or, you know, I'm not liking the vibe. We always talk in terms of vibration all the time because we're a vibration people. And I was like, yo, that's one of our senses. Like that's one of our, you know, we call it the sixth sense all the time. But then I was like, hey, yo, people say, because I teach math, I'm a math tutor, And they have this language where they say your number sense, right? Your ability to fill out numbers. Right. And I was like, why do they say number sense, but they don't count it with the 5 senses? Clearly, it's a sense to call it the number sense. They don't call it nothing else but the number sense, because it is an actual sense that we have to be able to, like, to look at something and say that's more or less. To look at something and say that's bigger or smaller. That's an inner capacity that we have just to recognize differences, right? Is this equal or is this different? And so I started to realize it's not our 6th sense, it's actually our 1st sense. Right. It's the first thing we know how to do is math. Like if we come in and saying our cells multiply and divide, like that's clearly math is that's 2 of the 4 operators right there, you know, and addition, your father subtracted the sperm and added it to your mother. So that was addition and subtraction. So the first thing you do to even exist is the 4 operators. And so I wrote this book to recalibrate the way we think about math. It's not the stuff we do on paper. It's not equations. Math is our ability to stand up and balance ourselves. You know what I mean? To be able to perceive depth with our eyes, to hear sounds and be able to distinguish between a high vibration and a low vibration. The fact that we have people who can sing perfect pitch like Ella Fitzgerald to just hit a note, that's math that we're doing. So, you know, I'm trying to get people to understand we don't learn math the same way we don't learn how to see or smell or hear. It's built into us. We do it. And so I think a lot of people would have a better experience with math if they knew that that's what we are. And a lot of this, I really learned from being around Dr. Afrika and the way that he looks at things and describes things. It helped me to start seeing the truth better. And he started pointing out things like, we say stuff like, what goes around comes around, you know, what goes up must come down. He's like, that's not true. And he would just like X all of these things out that weren't mathematically real. They were just social things that we say that I guess feel good and make us, you know, feel better when things go wrong. He's like, but you can't live your life off stuff you just made up. Like you got to actually have some math behind this thing.
You know what's so funny, Josh? You know, he was a mathematician himself. A lot of people don't know that, but he was a piano player. He knew how to play the violin. He self-taught. And the only reason he stopped playing the violin because his friends was teasing him as a young child, called him a faggot. He said, nah, I ain't doing that no more. That's why he stopped playing the violin. That shit was so funny. He told me that, I started laughing. He said, nah, I ain't gonna be called no faggot.
That's hilarious.
This is a young child. So, and in order to even know herbology or know the medical world, you got to understand math. Understand math.
Period.
So Dr. was about that math, my brothers and sisters.
About the different pH balances throughout the body. Like, you know, they give us this one, you know, pH balance for a woman. We grew up on that deodorant commercial, you know what I mean? And they tell us our body should be pH balanced at this thing, but he was the one that broke it down like every different organ has a different pH and you have to do all of the different math for that. And, you know, the amount of stuff like doing pH, like if you doing saliva or urine, it's all math. You just measuring everything in the body is math. You know, temperature, blood pressure, eyesight, hearing, everything is measured in numbers. So,
yo, Joshua, thank you very much for coming on, man. And family, please get Joshua's books, man. Joshua got some great books, not just this book that I'm showing, not just this book that I'm about to show. This book, but he has other math books for your children, for adults, all of that to help, and poetry books. So make sure y'all support the spoken word and the greatness of our. He's my graphic artist. He's my editor. This is my man. This is my brother, man. This is my brother down to earth, man. And I remember bringing him on. I had Professor Smalls on last night, and I remember having you open up for Professor Smalls. I had Professor Smalls and Professor Griff with me last night on my show, and it was powerful. And that's Joshua Sarah's website is on there, joshuasarah.com. Make sure y'all show love and follow him at Earthiopia right here on IG. Brother Joshua, thank you very much, man, for showing this.
Hey, thank you for keeping this going, to make sure that you always acknowledge this brother, because like we cannot ever forget the legacy that he brought to us. He changed us in so many ways, and I don't think a lot of us even know about, man. But that African holistic health is the health Bible for Black people. If you don't know, now you know.
You know. Thank you, man. Thank you, beloved man. Be safe out there, all right? Thanks, peace and love.
You too, fam. Peace.
Yes. Let me go to this person. I think Rashiki's trying to get in. Let me see if she's going to get in. See if she's there, and I'll get her in. Let me see. Okay, let me see if Rashiki's going to get it in. Rashika Arts is also a priestess and a holistic therapist and practitioner. What's up? Let me see if she's going to get in. How's she going to get in? What's up, how you doing? I can't. You're breaking up. I can't. There you are. What's up?
So, talking about Dr. Afrika. I
How
love
you
Dr.
doing?
Africa. I love Dr. Africa so much. I remember seeing him in South Carolina in the early 2000s
Yeah.
when he was selling his books. And it might have even been earlier than that. And he was just such a regal man.
Yeah. She breaking up. You breaking up, sis. You're frozen. I think she, yeah, you're frozen, sis. You were frozen. I don't know what's happening. There you.
Also, I got the opportunity to do a couple of retreats with him and to take his classes to become a holistic wellness practitioner. And
Good.
then back in like 2006 and 2007.
Yes.
And
Yes. How can people support you, my sister? How can people support you through your IG here too? They can support you.
Yes, you could go to my IG, check the link in the bio, get the books. I definitely was inspired by Dr. Africa, his wisdom, his lessons, and his sense of humor.
Oh man,
he was a comedian as well, and would keep you laughing in those classes. In fact, that's one thing that made him such a great teacher is, some teachers you fall asleep because they're boring when they're speaking. But Dr. Africa would keep you laughing and entertained and teach you at the same time. So he was a true master teacher, a Seba, and a healer priest in all ways. The information he gave us, it's gonna last forever, and I still hear him saying, don't let my stuff die. You keep that stuff flowing. So that I do my best to teach lessons.
Sister Rashiki, when is your birthday? When is your born day?
September 10th.
Oh, you're September. Oh, okay. The Virgo energy, the Virgo, listen over the Virgo. Okay, my sister's a Virgo, so I know what it is. My sister. I want people to support you at Rashiki_arts_temple, of course, and show her love. She got some great books. She got some great jewelry. She got all kinds of stuff. Are you going to be at the God Fest? Are you coming? The 9 Ether God Fest?
I saw the information. I'm gonna check into that today.
It's sold out. It's sold out. So you know. It's sold out, but they still have vending space just in case. I mean, it's sold out. It's sold out. Sold out. Okay, so you need to talk to Brother Jeff. Talk to Brother Jeff over there at the New Black Wall Street. He's handling the vending. He handles that. Contact him. I would love to see you there. So I'm gonna shout out all the vendors off the stage. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna shout out all of them. All right, my dude.
Good job at that. Peace and blessings. Thank you so much, brother.
All right. That's our this Rashiki. Make sure you support our sister and what she's doing all the time, family. Again, today, right now, we're saluting Dr. Llaila Afrika and his great 79 years and going strong in the spiritual realm, man. Dr. Llaila Afrika has helped us out in so many ways, helped me out to maintain my youth in so many ways. And, Dr. Afrika encouraged me to grow my hair, to tell you the truth. Dr. Afrika used to say, because I used to cut it off and all that. He said, King, why don't you keep your hair? The hair's a spiritual connection. He wouldn't get into the scientific behind it, but if you go in his book, he break down the science, but he loved how I kept my hair. He liked my little, there's a picture of me and Dr. Afrika. I had my little afro growing at that time. He had his afro. And we went to the hospital to visit his late brother. And I didn't know me and Dr. Llaila Afrika shared the same last name. And his government last name was Brown. And when we went to go and see his brother in the hospital, his last name was Brown. And I looked at Doc, I said, I didn't know this was your last name. He said, yeah, King, that's my old last name. I'm Dr. Llaila Afrika to you, sir. Doc didn't care. He said, what? He said, don't you call me Mr. Brown, nickel. Doc was so funny. He said, don't you call me Mr. Brown, nickel. But his last name was Brown. His last name was Brown. Big up. That was so funny. And we was at the hospital visiting his brother. May his brother rest in peace at that time. Probably 10 years ago, 7 years ago, But anybody who else want to come on and show love to Dr. Afrika, remember, Go to the website, LailaAfrica.com. Go to the Cash App, $Charles Childs. That is the publishing company. My books was published by Dr. Llaila Afrika. My 3 of my books was published by Dr. Llaila Afrika. There it is, Charles Childs Publishing. As you can see right there, hold on. As you can see right there, my books was published by Dr. Llaila Afrika also. That book was published by this book was published by Dr. Llaila Afrika before he transitioned, Charles Childs Publishing. And this book was published by Dr. Llaila Afrika before he transitioned. So Dr. Afrika showed me some real love and acknowledged my books. You see his logo, Dr. Afrika logo, and his publishing company with his wife. You see the logo and his publishing company logo, Dr. Afrika and the publishing company. And again, you see the logo, Dr. Llaila Afrika, and of course, his Charles Childs Publishing Company. Dr. Afrika did my publishing for 3 of my books before he transitioned because he believed in what I was doing. Him and his wife believed in what I was doing, and I believe in them. That's why every year around this time, I don't really do it around the time when he transitioned on March the 21st. I may throw up a little love on him, but around his born day, because Dr. Afrika still comes to me in the dreams. And Dr. Afrika, the last dream Dr. Afrika came on me and not came on me, pause. Let's not talk that. The last, because Dr. Afrika wasn't into that bull crap. The last dream that Dr. Afrika came to me and said, we was on an escalator and we was going on the escalator and he told some joke and I started laughing and both of us started laughing on the escalator and we was going up. We wasn't going down, we was going up on the escalator. So I know, I read the meaning of going up on an escalator before. You can always Google up those spiritual meanings about escalators and flying and all that kind of stuff. But him and I started laughing and was joking on the escalator as we was going up on the escalator. So I know that represented something. I remember reading about that. But again, anybody who wants to request to come on, and even if you knew him or you didn't know him or his books helped you in any way, send a request, come on in, talk about Dr. Afrika, talk to me about Dr. Afrika in your own way and how much he helped you with his books. And remember, if you want his books at a discount price right now, all you have to do is go to his website, LailaAfrica.com. That's LailaAfrica.com. LailaAfrica.com. And if you can't buy all of his books, buy 1 or 2 or whatever about get Nutricide, get the Nutricide Part 2. He got Nutricide Part 2. And or send him some Cash App, send his wife a Cash App. She's keeping the legacy alive, or you can send her PayPal, and that's the PayPal right there, Dr. Melanie 16 at Yahoo, or Cash App, that's $Charles Child. Charles Child. All right, so I think I don't know if anybody wants to come on. If anybody wants to come on, no problem. But if you don't, I've been up here for a little bit, showing some love to Dr. Afrika. And man, I'm just happy that most of y'all, Rashiki, Brother Joshua Sarah came in, Brother Ogun came in, Brother Tahuti came in, Sister Nicholas came in, and Sister Empress came in earlier too. Sister Empress came in early and showed some love. So I'm so happy for those who actually Empress Naturals. She showed love. She was one of the first to tap in to show love to Dr. Llaila Afrika, man. And that's what it's all about, showing our elder that love, showing him how much we love him. And if you still love Dr. Afrika and you want to learn through his word, go to his YouTube channel or just watch Dr. Afrika. He teaches on sexual relationship. He taught on African holistic health. I mean, he taught on where the word dessert came from and where these different words that Europeans give to us came from, and how a lot of it is war-driven words, all war-driven words. It's all about war. Remember, they're all about war when it comes to the medical world, when it comes to the food world, when it comes to anything, they're all about military. And a lot of people don't know, even when Dr. Afrika broke down about the Surgeon General, these are all military organizations. And you know the Surgeon General be in back of your cigarettes. They be in back of certain things. So the Surgeon General, oh my gosh, it's military. Because Dr. Afrika was like a spook who sat by the door. If you've never seen that movie, go watch it on YouTube. The Spook Who Sat by the Door. It's about a CIA agent, the first black CIA agent that went and studied all of the different nuances about the CIA, and then came out and started teaching the gangs of Chicago, New York, all over the LA. He started teaching the tactics. And Dr. Afrika was like a spook who went into the military, became a military nurse, and left, because that's where most of the military things were devised and used. All about health and allopathic medicine is due to the military, because after wars, remember, the cadavers of these wars were studied. After the wars, the cadavers were studied about it. That's why if you read his book, he talks about it in the history of war and everything else. He gets into it, the whole history between the mercantile trade amongst Africans and Europeans. He has it in his book. The mercantile trade between Africans and Europeans. He have it in his book. Look at that. These are historical breakdowns. Mercantile trade amongst Africans and Europeans, and what happened. He gets it in, man. I'm telling you, he breaks down the history in his books. Look what he says. Look at that. Look at that portion. The European invasion of ancient Africa for medicinal herbs between BC to 1800 AD. They was robbing Africa. It's in the book. They was robbing Africa for herbs. That's what they was doing. And that's what Dr. Afrika teaches in his book. This, y'all gotta go get it, because he added 200 to 300 more pages. Y'all gotta go get it, because he added 200 to 300 more pages in this book before he passed on. That's why it's called the textbook of holistic health. The textbook of holistic health. So on that note, nobody else want to come on, is all good. I'm going to post this on my YouTube next. I'm going to play this on my YouTube. So get ready for it to be played and shared on my YouTube. Remember, this coming Wednesday, I have Angela Mingo teaching about, she's going to be teaching about generational wealth through house rentals and Airbnbs. And then I have, after that, I have on the 30th, I have my brother KT, the Arts Degree, who also respects Dr. Afrika. Although he's a student and understudy of Dr. Sebi, he also has Dr. Afrika's books and all that, because KT respects the jargon, the scientific jargon also. So that's on the 29th and the 30th, we got that. And then on February the 2nd, February 1st is my born day. So you know what it is. I'm going to have a good time. But on February 2nd, we have Adara Moselle on clearing negative energy. On February 5th, we have the one, the only, my brother Wayne Lightworker. He's going to be in the building. On February the 9th, after the God Fest, the 9 Ether God Fest on the 8th, on February 9th, we have Ross Kofi. And on February 12th, we have Abundance Child and John Carr. On February the 13th, we have a tribute to Dr. Delbert Blair with Brother Tony from the Meta Center on February 13th. And on February 16th, we have Dr. Philip Valentine and Brother Sabir Bey on February 16th. And on February 19th, we have Dr. Alicia Kair Ill speaking about the magic death money, So we have a whole host of things going on in this whole month of February coming up, and we closing out with KT, the Arts Degree, on January the 30th, live and direct. So family, on that note, I want to thank each and every one of y'all that came up. I want to thank all of y'all that came through. Nicholas Brooklyn, she came through and showed love. Also, got a big up to Nicholas Brooklyn. Make sure y'all support Nicholas Brooklyn February 8th and February 9th with Brother Heru on February 8th, and then of course at February 9th they're gonna have the expo, the all-day expo at the Restoration Plaza. So make sure y'all contact Nicholas Brooklyn or Nicholas BK right here on IG. DM her if you're a holistic practitioner and you want to vend at that free, absolutely free holistic expo. All you have to do is contact Nicholas. That's my girl. She just put the hearts up. Make sure y'all show Nicholas some love and tell her that King Simon sent your ass. All right. Especially if you're a holistic practitioner. She needs more. She wants more vendors. There's a lot of vendors coming through. Lloyd is going to be there. Lloyd Strayhorn going to be there. Well, Uncle Rising Sun will be over here with us. But I think Uniquely Wired is going to be with us too in Georgia. But there's going to be a whole host of holistic vendors. Kafunya is going to be there. A lot of people is going to be there. So it is what it is. I'm trying to mention some names and they all going to be over here. What the hell going on? But it is what it is. So have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Be strong, be focused. And remember, Dr. Llaila Afrika, today is his 79th Cosmic Born Day. Go to his website, get those package deals for his books. Go send some Cash App love to Charles Charles Child. That's his wife Cash App and the business Cash App, and the PayPal Dr. Melanie 16 at Yahoo. And tell them that King Simon sent you over, okay? I'm getting ready to put it up on my YouTube, so YouTube, look out for it. Y'all have 25 vendors already? Ooh, that's gonna be fire. I wish I was in town, girl, but I'm gonna be emceeing Brother Rich. Brother Rich called me and said, only me and him are gonna be holding that microphone. Nobody else unless he advised, and everybody else that come on that stage is gonna be. But as an MC, myself and Brother Rich, the Brooklyn way, the New York way, we're gonna do it the New York way. I'm gonna bring on people like this Madison Square Garden, baby. Like, I know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, you said Uniquely Wired is flying back. Okay, flying back. Big up to Uniquely Wired. Okay, she's gonna be flying back that day. Okay, good. All right, have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Be safe, be great, be able to be your beautiful self in whatever you do. Be strong, family, whatever you do. Be healthy, like Dr. Afrika. And if you're going to practice anything in holistic health, even if you're a practicing nurse, don't be expendable, be expandable. Don't be expendable, be expandable, because Dr. Afrika was a former nurse. He was a former medical nurse. And you know, when you're a military nurse, you know what it is. You get to know all the ins and out of the military madness. So go get the book and be holistic, and know the allopathic, know the homeopathic, because Dr. Afrika teaches from the homeopathic, the allopathic, the naturopathic. He teaches on all levels. Make sure y'all get the textbook. That's the last book that he released before he transitioned, Dr. Llaila Afrika, and he added at least 200 to 300 more pages in the book. All right? So have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Be safe, be great. I love you because I love me. Take care. Peace and love.
ready. The 42nd International Reggae and World Music Awards Show is coming to the Coral Springs Center for the Arts, Fort Lauderdale on Sunday, March 20, 2025. Celebrate the biggest names in reggae and world music as we bring nations together through music and culture. Early bird tickets are on sale now. Don't miss out. Grab yours today at thecentercs.com or irama.com and book your stay for an unforgettable weekend. Hurry, prices go up after Thanksgiving. Follow us on social media and visit our website www.irawma.com for more details. The 42nd Irama Show, where the world comes to celebrate music.
New Motivation with King Simon. Text me now at 347-496-1022. You can also take my course if you want to, but do text me for your sessions at 347-496-1022. You can also get my books on Amazon at Linktree/King Simon the New Motivator. Remember, you can book your session and get it done right now. 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. King Simon the New Motivator. So remember, our job as studiers of these metaphysical, esoteric knowledge is to help enhance people to be better. I, as a new motivator, using the numbers or quote-unquote numerals and motivation to get people to understand why they need to activate their numbers to be their very best self and maximize it. Because the numerals hold a frequency. And if you're willing to turn up that frequency, then that frequency can help to guide you and navigate you to a higher height that will allow you to spiral to be your best self. We must remember that.